You guys. So I wasn't gonna do the like black lipstick today, but we're doing it. Okay, so whatever. Get used to it. Get ready. But I want to talk about three different things in this video today. So let's just get into it. So the first thing I want to speak about is these allegiances that are being, and let me look at my notes real quick, that are being forced upon us. These allegiances with bigots of all people. So, hence the election, people have been basically, having these conversations with Black America and with themselves, talking about how, well, with Black America, basically talking about how we should be coming together, and this is what they want. They want us to be divided and divide and conquer and all this other stuff that we already knew and kind of wrote the book on. More than kind of like Foundation of Black Americans have written the book on things like this, like when it comes to racism, the centering of whiteness, white supremacy, colonization, colonialism, all of it. Like we've pretty much written the book on it. Like we've written more extensively on this topic and the interconnected ones, intersectional ones, for decades upon decades. But I mean, we made it whole curriculum, whole curricula, I guess you would call it, in schools. So, but anyway, what was I going to say? So, people are, foisting upon us this, you know, what is it? This ploy or a plea to, but it's not really a request or a plea to work with this mandate to work with other people who voted against their best interest. And I'm just like, I don't really get that. Like, a lot of these people are bigots. I would say all of them are bigots. If you voted for Trump, you're a bigot. I'm not one of those people who believes, oh, didn't vote for, um, if you didn't vote for Kamala, then you're also the same as everybody else. I'm not one of those people. But, and obviously I'm not, because I didn't vote for Kamala. I didn't vote for Trump either. But, both of these systems are upholding, both of these parties, Republican and Democrat, are upholding this system within which we are existing. We're living, we're under which, to be honest, because it's basically like a fascistic regime. And I really feel like I shouldn't even have the word like in there. Like, it is that. And to be honest with you, he shouldn't even be president. I mean, he technically, I guess you could say, isn't. I mean, but he is. We know he is. But like, at the end of the day, like, to make certain I was still recording, at the end of the day, um, anyone who incites a coup in the United States against the government is ineligible for candidacy. So even if he was somehow made, put on the ballot, he wouldn't be, or written in or something, he wouldn't be able to take office because he's considered a rebel, or at least he should be. And he is. And that's the crazy thing, because like this country is just not working. Like, it's not running on what the fuck they're claiming that it's supposed to be running on. Like, what the fuck is going on? How'd y'all let any of this happen? Should have gotten some more water before I started, but got my beer. But I don't see the prospect. I don't see this as a prospect. I don't see this as something that we should be doing. Why are we getting together with people who voted not only to fuck themselves over, but and their people, but who don't seem to get it unless they are the ones who are suffering? And then even then, a lot of these same people, like you see, he still got support from a lot of these same people. I'm never going to vote with someone who is, or excuse me, work with someone who is um, prejudiced. I think he prejudiced it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm just not gonna do it. It don't make no sense to me. Like, I'm not. They say my enemy's enemy is a friend. No, they're not. Like, what does that even mean? No, they're not. Your enemy is not a friend. Your enemy's enemy is a friend. Technically, they're not your enemy, but it's like oftentimes they are, and that's why people say that. Like, it's like, oftentimes these are people who don't like you either, but you all have some like common goal at some point or whatever of a person you don't like or an entity or whatever. It's like y'all still gonna try to take each other out when it's all said and done. So I don't believe in that type of stuff. I'm not. This is not a fucking. I'm so sick of operating in this world as if we're like kings and queens and you know uh, faction here and faction there. Like, this is not what we're, babe, and we don't have the kingdoms at stake. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have the spoils, the riches of the benefits of being a person, a king or a queen or a monarch who's able to do something like that, like send their whole country and their people to war for frivolous things. Like, we don't reap the rewards of that, you know. So it doesn't make any sense for us to be like, acting like that's something that is for us. But what do you call it? The prospect is just null and void to me. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm not working with people who voted for any of the stuff that we're seeing today. So I don't know what you guys are doing. Like, you let me know in the comment section. But wouldn't that just be weird? Like, wouldn't that just be inviting trouble? Like, wouldn't you just be basically saying, "Oh, okay, well, I'll deal with you when we deal with this, together." Like, they're still gonna fucking not like you. You know what I'm saying? People who didn't like you before, they're still not gonna like you, even if they need you for something. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the time, bitches be so indignant that they can't even fucking deal with you for the short amount of time that they need to with respect. You know, so that they can just get past the fuck shit and like get the job done, whatever it is. So it's just weird to me, and it's just like these are the same people who have been voting against you for all of these years. These are the same people who, ran around here saying that Black lives don't matter, getting mad at us because we said that a Black life matters. Don't let us say that a Black life matters, and the whole world is up in arms, like we literally just like, I don't know, like bombed a percentage of the earth to oblivion. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it's crazy, but it does make sense when you think about anti-blackness and you understand that this world is run on anti-blackness. That's just what it is. So no, I'm not working with that. But I also wanted to talk about Beyonce, and I'm going to save the bigger topic for last. So I came across this post of this Black woman, basically, doing this unpopular take challenge or whatever, unpopular opinion. And she was talking about how Beyonce, she doesn't really like Beyonce's music, and she feels like her best music was back in Destiny's Child, and she just ain't really killing it like that no more. And that's her take. And she said she still wishes her the best, and she's not hating on her music or whatever the case is. She thinks she's talented, all that good stuff. I'm like, so a lot of people like me were in the comment section, and they're basically just calling it out for what it is. Like, why are you talking about Beyonce in this way? And your critique is not even it's not a really valid critique. Like, I'm not saying it's not a valid critique, but it's not valid enough for it to be brought in this space for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Who was talking about Beyonce? You brought Beyonce up just to tell people that her best music was 25 years ago, 30 years ago. Why is Beyonce on your mind if you don't like her like that? If you don't listen to her music like that? Like Taylor Swift. I don't listen to Taylor Swift's music. I loved when Taylor Swift debuted. Um, your team captain and I'm on the bleachers sitting thinking about the day. The old shit. The old shit. Okay. So like I did like it. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and like, I'll be honest, I don't really know any of her music, like not much of it since then, like maybe one or two, maybe three songs. But like she still is very talented. But like I'm not going to, unless in this situation it makes sense because I'm using her as an example, based on the conversation we're having, and saying that I wouldn't do this to her. I wouldn't do that to her because there's no reason for me to shit on Taylor Swift. And me bringing up that I don't like her in any capacity is just me shitting on her. And that's just what it is. So, you know, we called that out in the comment section. And of course, we're all just super stans of Beyonce and the bees are buzzing and all this other shit. And it's just like, no, we just, one, stand for our greats. You know what I'm saying? They already don't want to recognize us as foundational Black Americans. Yeah, she's the best performer and pop star in the world right now and has been for a minute. Are we not allowed to defend her? And then it's also like, um, just because you agree with something that puts you on the same side as a celebrity does not mean you have to do away with that opinion. Because if we operate based on that, then you can never ever have an opinion that puts you on the same side as a celebrity. Otherwise, if that is your genuine opinion, you're going to be accused of being this and that. And it's just like that's crazy. Like y'all don't know how to just have your own opinions. Like everybody wants to be a follower. Nobody knows how to just shut the fuck up, like, and enjoy the music you like. Like for real. Like it just don't make no sense. Like why y'all gotta be out here talking about Beyonce like that? She's clearly the GOAT if you keep talking about her. And I don't mean God of all things. I hate when people mean that. I mean greatest of all things. I won't say I hate when people mean that, but I mean greatest of all things. But it's weird. It's very weird, especially when there are valid critiques that you can have of Beyonce, Beyonce and Jay Z doing that deal with the NFL when Kaepernick was taking a knee after they had just congratulated him and big upped him. You know, um, Beyonce operating on this all pro black image when the most she's done is a little something for uh, uh, Breonna Taylor in her wake. I think it was the open letter, and then some funds were raised and things like that. I think is what the situation is, and you know, why are you working with Tiffany's Blood Diamonds and remaking Breakfast at Tiffany's theme song, basically, you know, which I did a cover of too. But what's the name of the song? Moon River. Moon River. I think it's originally by Audrey Hepburn, and I did it more of in the actual style. She did it in her own style, which I appreciate. Of course, I love Beyonce's style, but like when I heard a song like that being sung in that way, I was just like, "Ooh, I wish you would have picked another song." Like, I can't. I won't say I can't sing everything because I'm my whole shtick is being able to sing in any genre, but and eight languages and all that good stuff. Trying to get to 10, but not everybody can sing. Most people can't sing in every single genre. That's okay. She can sing country. She can sing, and if you don't think so, you need to go. You need to humble yourself, and you need to just go ahead and be a genuine researcher and listen to Cowboy Carter all the way through, all 25 songs. I'm pretty sure it's 25 songs. I sat down and I was like partially through it, like 5 songs into the album or so, and then I noticed that it was I think it was more than that. And I noticed it was 25 fucking songs long. I said, "What the fuck? What did I just get myself into?" But I sat there and I chugged through it, and it was great. It was amazing. I will be honest. This is the only Beyonce album that I've ever listened to all of the way through and didn't like so many songs. There were probably at least 5 or 6 songs I didn't like. At least three of them that I had to skip almost immediately, like within the first minute. But I tried to give everything a really good chance, and it paid off because there are 25 songs in the album. I'm not gonna like every single fucking song, and for me to only be like five, six of them, whatever, like that's an A, pretty sure. 20 out of 25, it's at least a B. 20 out of 25 is 20 goes into 25, 1 point. Girl, look, ain't nobody doing math over here except on a calculator. Hold up. Um, it's 80%. But don't do me, okay? You got to know when to break out the calculator. But there are valid critiques that you can have of Beyonce, you know? Valid critiques, you know? Talking about how, you just don't like her music and you feel like she broke up her band or her group or that she started, along with them, that she um hasn't put out any good music since. Girl, are you serious? Are you serious? And I mean, I don't think she technically said she didn't put out any good music. I think it was like she doesn't, just that she didn't like any of the music. You don't like a single song that Beyonce has come out with since Destiny's Child? You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Girl, I can't take it seriously. I can't. Ridiculous. But anyway, so moving on to the biggest, I think, topic of this video, I want to talk about uh, anti-gayness and anti-transness in the Black community, and specifically when it comes to being in the online spaces virtually. So, like, as a Black trans woman, it is very difficult being a pro-Black, foundational Black American, and like just existing and finding like content online, things like that. As you have seen in my, most recent video, suppression of Black content online, it is, I want to say ravenous, but I feel like that's not the word. Um, Extremely hungry, voracious, very great. Oh, of hunger. Okay, yeah, it still has to be hunger though. Yeah, it's focused on hunger. So anyway, it's very prolific, I guess. The suppression of Black content online, and it's really ridiculous. Every content, YouTube, IG, uh, TikTok, Facebook, all of them, they all do the same. Twitter, they all do the same thing. And I've been dealing with this almost all of my career online. Like ever since I stopped just being a cutesy wootsy, post sexy pictures. Not they weren't sexy, but I'm not really a cute person. I'm a sexy person. Some people are cute, some people are sexy, some people, yeah. No, I'm late. But all that good stuff. But I'm a little cute right now, but we'll keep it cute. But posting pictures, all that good stuff, and just being a regular, normal young person, and a kid at most of those points, and teenager, 17, 16, 15, and ever since I maneuvered over to, posting about Trayvon Martin, George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, the marches and protests that I was doing in St. Louis and participating in, anti-racism workshops and intersectionality workshops, everything. It's just been crazy. Like it's just been like anti-Black bullshit all online, getting banned, getting thrown in Facebook jail, everything. And it really pains me being a Black person who fights for my community on a regular basis, who makes content that appeals to my community. Not every video, but a lot of them do, and maybe a lot of them, a lot more would if people knew about them and they weren't being suppressed. The world may never know. But it's just crazy because it's just like, I'll like tune in. I mentioned this, but I didn't get specific in my last video about the suppression of Black content online. How I don't agree with certain out. What'll happen is I'll find like a foundational Black American creator, and then I'll end up not being able to agree with a lot of or some of the some major things with them. This is what I was talking about. I'm not going to be able to get past having to listen to these anti-trans, anti-gay comments every time that I, listen to a podcast or an episode or watch an episode of somebody's content from my community. And then people trying to X us out and saying things like we're our own community and shit. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? So all of a sudden my ancestors just disappeared from the United States of fucking America? Girl, are you serious? So where am I from now? Oh, I was birthed by the gay community, apparently. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, stop. It's ridiculous. Or in my case, the trans community. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. I'm so sick of people, like, trying to separate people like that. Like, we need to be able to recognize ourselves as our own ethnicity. It makes sense. Everybody gets to be recognized as their own ethnicity. There are benefits to being recognized as your own ethnicity. There are legal ramifications of that. So one, that means that I also have that right. And two, um, what do you call it? Just not really an extension of that, not even two, just like separately, you know, and congruently at the same time, you know, this is not okay. So it's like, it's cool for me because it's like, at least I get to know who I need to be around and who I don't. But it's like, it is very tiring and annoying and frustrating to deal with that because it's just like, it's already so difficult to find content. Then you find content, excuse me, then you find content and they hate you. Oh, by the way, we hate you and we know you a man. Let me see that Adam apple. But, that's what it is. So, I don't know. I just think people need to be like realistic about the shit and just acknowledge that, yeah, you're not going to agree with every person in your community. Duh. Duh. But as long as they're not hurting themselves, well, I personally feel like, that's your right. But like, even though that's like very morbid, but like, as long as you're not hurting other people, then you're cool. You know what I'm saying? And, we've got people out here actually doing that. We've got murderers, rapists, pedophiles, and ain't nobody worried about that. Ain't nobody trying to separate the Black community from these people. But you want to separate the Black community from people who happen to, wear different clothes than you or wear clothes in a different way than you do, or people who happen to have sex with the people they want to have sex with and you don't approve of that for some reason. Like, stop, please. Please. Jordan, stop it. Get some help.